This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN Live, and we're here at the See-Through Equity and the Brewer Group's second annual Innovations Investor Conference 2016 in Miami, Florida. With me right now is Ken Londoner from BioSig Technologies. The symbol is BSGM. Ken, welcome to SNN Live.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, for our audience, let's get an overview of BioSig.
So BioSig Technologies is a medical device company based in Minneapolis. We were first based in Los Angeles, sunny LA. We were founded over 7 years ago, and we're developing a technology to help make cardiac surgery easier and more effective, especially for people who suffer with atrial fibrillation.
Okay, so let's get into the technology a little bit. I know there's some news that just came out, but I want to talk about the technology. Sure. So how is using your technology supposed to make everything, you said, easier and better?
Yeah.
For the cardiac surgery?
So we're in the field called atrial fibrillation. It's the fourth leading disease in the United States by size, prevalence. The major issue that they deal with in the operating room today is there's a lot of medical equipment that operates in concert with one another, and the equipment emits radio frequency interference, electromagnetic interference, and one of the leading diagnostic tools that they use is the intracardiac signal, which is a signal that comes from a catheter they insert inside your heart. And when all the machines are emitting interference, the doctors can't see the signals that they're using to guide their surgery. What we've done is we're a little bit like Dolby is to movie theaters. We take all of the noise out of the biomedical signals so they can see very clearly what's going on in the surgery, which gives them more accuracy and more precision and should lead them to do better procedures. That's our invention.
Okay, so let's go with that analogy a little bit. So how is it that you're able to make it so that when the doctor is doing the surgery, he can zone in exactly what he's doing?
So basically, taking noise out of biomedical signals is our company's core competency. We have a team of engineers in Los Angeles that come from UCLA out of the biomedical labs over there, and they've been working on this technology for over 30 years. They've perfected it. I would say they're the world leaders in biomedical signals, and so we look to apply their technology to a field that needed it the most, which is electrophysiology. And so 7 years, it's taken us about that long to get it right. It's not easy. And now we're at a point where we are testing the technology. We've done some testing at UCLA, at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, and we're going to other places, and we're about a year away from commercial launch.
You just answered my next question. I wanted to know where you guys are at in the FDA clearance process.
So FDA, for us, we are a Class 2 medical device, which means we're not implanted in the body, we're not ingested. We're a computer that basically removes noise from biomedical signals. So we're a Class 2 medical device, which is a 510K approval, and that is a straightforward process. It's not easy, but it does not require clinical data to go through the FDA. So we're in the process of putting that application together, and we're hopeful that we do it in a timely manner, and we hope to have FDA clearance sometime early next year.
I was just going to ask, how long does that normally take then?
It's a tedious process. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but we have a team that's very professional, that's done it many times before, and so we're confident we understand the process and that we will be detailed and thorough and hope to make our submission later this year. And then the good news about a 510K process is it's either a 3 or a 6 month review as opposed to drugs, which could take much more time. And so, we're hopeful we get the approval early next year, and we intend to launch our technology next year as well.
And I was just going to ask, how does that also tie in with some of the news that you just came out today, which is the 22nd, by the way, of February? How does that tie in with some of the news that you just came out with this morning?
That's a very good question. So today we announced that we've selected our manufacturer to partner with us, Minnetronics in Minnesota. They have worked for many of the large medical device companies in the United States, so we're very confident in their capabilities. Essentially, we partner with them. They'll take our prototype. and they'll work with us to get it to be a commercially manufacturable product. And that's about a year of work, and then they'll be ready to make product for us so that we can sell it into the market. And so with the FDA clearance and the work at the manufacturer should all come together for a launch, we say mid next year. That's our best estimate.
And how big is this market that you're going after right now?
Well, the market for electrophysiology technology is $3.5 billion. The thing we like about the market so much is it's growing double digits because of the demographics, not just in the U.S., but around the world. So it's a double-digit growth market, and our segment of the market really depends on the pricing of our product, which we're not prepared to discuss. But we think the market could be up to $1 billion in size for our segment.
And how is it what you're developing is different than what's currently available out there?
Nobody yet has been able to take this noise out of the biomedical signals. So we're going to enter as a new segment of the market. There are recording systems today that do very nice, that provide a lot of information, a lot of value, but nobody can take the noise out of the signal like we do. So we'll be introducing a new market segment called the EP Information System. And so we're not looking to displace anyone. We're going to be adding our information on top of what's already out there. So they'll make room for us because the information we can provide the surgeons, the clinicians, is of great value.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit already as well, but being that there's nobody out there doing this, as you say, why are they making room for you then? Why is it important for them to take the sound out?
That's an excellent question. So today in the more complex disease state, the arrhythmias, 1 out of 2 people that have the ablation have to come back for a second procedure because when they're looking to do their surgery, sometimes they can't get the precise location because it's very difficult. With the clean signals that we'll offer, we believe that they'll get more accuracy that none of today's technology can offer, and that's why they'll make room for us. We have to prove it clinically in clinical trials, but we've started doing that, and people will see more from us on that front going forward.
So Ken, were the doctors coming to you and saying, look, we need something like this. We don't want people to have to come back and do another surgery that we just did?
That's another great question. So before I started the company, this was what I wanted to understand. What I did in my research, it took me about a year to figure it out. I spoke to folks in the industry. I spoke to some of the leading medical centers, and they all said that the noise is a big problem. The noise is a barrier for them that causes them to not be completely certain when they're doing the surgical procedure that they're getting the exact right location. So when I confirmed that to be a meaningful need in the market, that's when we decided to take the risk and start the company.
And what's your background? How did you come into BioSig?
Well, my background is I'm a mutual fund manager by training. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, I was running mutual funds, and medical technology and medical devices was always an area that we made a lot of money in, especially cardiology. Those who have invested for a long period of time know cardiology is one of those fishing holes, I call it, where there's a good degree of success, as opposed to other sectors that are riskier or more volatile. Cardiology is a market, I like to say everybody has a heart. It's a huge market, and there's a big need for innovation. So if you can show the field that you have something that works and you prove it through clinical trials, it's very valuable. So I went from being a money manager to a innovator, developer of these young companies. I'm the founder of the company.
Okay, so we're mid first quarter 2016. From what you can tell me, what are some of the goals and milestones for the company going forward?
Well, today we announced a big milestone. We're going into the manufacturer. So that means our technology, we feel comfortable with it, and we're turning it over to put into production. We also will be working on our FDA submission. We're working on putting a quality management system in place around the technology, and then we have to build our go-to-market team and strategy to launch the product. And some of the other milestones will be around business development and seeing if we can find some useful partnerships with the industry. We're very optimistic because this is really a great field. Electrophysiology today is the fastest growing market in medical devices.
And where could our audience go and find more information about the company?
Our website's pretty good. It's www.biosigtech.com.
That's BIOSIG tech.com, TECH. My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN Live, and we're here at the See-Through Equity and the Brewer Group's second annual Innovations Investor Conference 2016 in Miami, Florida. Again, with me has been Ken Londoner from BioSig Technologies. The symbol is BSGM. Ken, thank you so much for coming out to SNN.
Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody.